Hello, I'm Basheer Ghouse, and welcome to Wrought and Diamonds, a guns blazing actual play. Um, I am Basheer Ghouse, your host and game master, and with me is our wonderful cast, Darby.
Hi, hello, my name is Darby. Yeah.
All right. James.
Hi, my name is James. I'm playing Mohammed Adisa, and he's a male Moroccan who's half Egyptian and also an engineer.
All right. Obi.
Hello. I am Obadiah, and I will be playing Tyler D. Penatek, an Afro-Comanche soldier of fortune, vanguard out looking for a cause that he can believe in.
All right. Nordine.
Hello, I'm Nordine Ali Kadir, and I'm playing Henry Kamal Gray, an Anglo-Desi human, pronouns he, him, who happens to be a captain. The playbook, that is. We don't know if he's a captain. I'm going to stop talking now.
All right. We enter on a sweeping view of Hyderabad, 1925. Construction is rampant all over the city. Factories rise, electrification is in full progress. An enormous set of train tracks run into the city from the Nizam's own railway. And looming over it, some kilometers out of the city limits, is the fort at Golconda, a enormous thing kind of rising 400 feet above the city as a whole, of these beautiful stone walls, now overgrown with plant life, and deeper within, something altogether less pleasant. But we leave that for now as we head to a train swiftly rumbling its way towards Hyderabad, still a few miles out from the city. It's not one of the fancier trains, not one of the big old Oriental Express liners for the British, where British citizens and European tourists get the nice seats and everyone else is pushed in back into what are basically livestock cars. This is instead one of the Nizam's trains. Pleasant enough passenger liners, a bit cramped, but fancy enough for your average person heading into Hyderabad, or, as is the case over the past few months, many soldiers of fortune heading in to work for private firms or the Nizam himself in the area. We focus on his booth, where two in particular are sitting and eating lunch in one of the meal cars as an attendant comes up. Sir, ma'am, your host would like to see you in the back. And as the camera turns around, Darby and James, would you like to describe your characters and what do they like, and what are they eating for lunch on this train?
Yeah, so I can go ahead and get started. So, Muhammad is a kind of sort of a fair tone black man from the Egypt region, which he also has ties in Morocco. Both his parents are from both regions. And overall, he's looking very dapper, basically. So he's wearing a dark black suit, nice button-down tie, nice fitted cap with gold trimming around it. And he carries around a cane, which is by his side, which is wrapped in these gold rings around the handle of the cane and also the base of the cane. And at the head of the cane is wrapped in also a diamond. So he's looking very dapper. He's all about carrying himself properly. And right now he's eating a sandwich that is finely cut with the meats that he enjoys and cheeses that he enjoys. And overall is just all about, looking like he's all put together and well off.
And I believe my character, Sumin, who I definitely introduced in the intros, Sumin is wearing a Korean woman wearing a very modestly colored hanbok, so kind of a white top, darker colors for the skirt, and with a single braid going down for her hair. I think she's also eating a sandwich, but it is not so neatly cut. It's a little bit messier. It's got like haphazard like paper wrapped around it to kind of keep it in place. Just kind of like nibbling on it.
All right. So yeah, the attendant kind of steps back and points you towards the back of the train, and as you head back there, it's more cramped the farther back you go as you get into cheaper and cheaper seats, until eventually you step into a livestock car. And in addition to like a bunch of animals in their stalls, there's a goat just kind of in the middle outside of its stall, sitting down, just kind of sitting on a pile of hay, and it kind of perks up as it sees you two walk in, checks around, looks around, very clearly checking to see that there's no one else here, and kind of unfurls and shifts into this massive shape. A red-skinned Rakshasa, so big that it's curled over and sat down with its legs crossed, but it's still hunched. Its shoulders touch the top of the car, its head's kind of bent over, its head's turned a bit to be a little less uncomfortable. Zoom in. It's a good to see you again. Muhammad, I'm glad the invitation reached you. Sumin, you know this person as Dax, a Rakshasa from the area. He's a smuggler. He's a smuggler and kind of point of contact between you and, well, on one level, a point of contact between you and home, where he both kind of funnels stuff you've gotten for the resistance effort back in Korea back to your contacts at home, and hooks you up with your next jobs. You also know that when he's not doing that, he sells shitty cigarettes out of the back of trains when they're waiting at station, as his kind of cover. Muhammad, you haven't met him before. You know of Dax only by reputation, which is a fairly fearsome reputation as this dark underworld smuggler who's only ever seen when he wants to be seen, etc., etc. Whereas Sumin knows him mostly as kind of a goof, very good at his job, kind of like your idiot grandpa who is fun to be around, but you realize the fact that he knows all this stuff about drugs and illicit trade is probably because he was more of an idiot than you were at your age, rather than some sort of darker wisdom. How's the train treating you?
Well, aren't you something? The train has been pretty nice. The service has been pretty proper. How can I make my acquaintance?
Well, we have a bit of a pickle. One of our friends is a strong word. One of our not yet enemies in the city has found something the British are up to, and we doubt that it's good for our own interests and those of our myriad friends. So we're going to be asking you to contact her, cooperate, play along, and stop whatever this is. Sumin, I hope the normal fee is fine.
That would be just fine.
All right. And Muhammad, we haven't had the pleasure of working together before. What are you looking for? Cash, weapons, a cause back home that needs a little something?
My people are a little bit thirsty. There seems to be a drought in the region. You know, if they could get some rations and some thing to parch their lips, it'll definitely go a long way in terms of taking care of them.
And the facade kind of drops as all right, let me double check here. Is that water, or is that you just need to smuggle a bunch of booze home? I just need to make sure I don't send the wrong thing back after this.
I'll take the booze, but send them order.
Okay, good to know. Right, where was I? Ah, crap, I'm not getting the voice back, am I? Look. You're meeting this detective named Summer in the city. She knows more than I do. My interest in it is this. Look, I'm sure she's got her own reasons for however she wants to handle this, etc., etc. Play along as best you can, but make sure whatever this is, it's solved destructively, and when this is all over, I read about it in the papers. I'm asking you for something big and rough. Explosions, arson, half a dozen dead Englishmen, not super picky. I want this visible.
I hope then we're not the only two going on this little soiree.
Everyone else involved has their own guy, but this work for you?
Sounds good.
Explosions are my specialty. Consider me in.
All right, I'll have the staff pass you the deets, and if you don't mind, I have some cigarettes to pack. And we swing away from the train as it pulls into station in Hyderabad and over to a park in the city. One of several, technically it's an old farm, like an old homestead that's been overtaken by the rapid growth of the city as suburb after suburb, and construction just passes by it. The family's opened it up but hasn't allowed development on it, so there's just this kind of wide open space for people to hang out in and enjoy themselves. There have been a few benches installed, but mostly you have to kind of keep walking through it, and walking down one of its many paths. We follow a tall Indian man with dark skin and dressed as nondescriptly as he can manage, kind of a brown kurta, fairly plain turban, and as we follow him, he kind of moves down towards another walker on this path and raises a hand in like a unseen or in a covert signal of like, hey, I'm right here. And as this other walker turns to meet his contact, Obi, what's Tyler doing in Hyderabad? How long has he been in the city, and what's he up to on this fine day?
So Tyler's been here a couple of weeks now. Hyderabad it seemed like there was something here, something special, something's about to happen. And every so often, back home, like the Comanche Federation has interests, and Tyler moves around a lot, but he's a little bit unreliable as far as putting a nation first, but he keeps in touch. And if somebody points him in a direction, he's fine to wander.
All right. Oh, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. That said, when he's motioned to, he falls in casually enough. The painted tear streak tattoos under his eyes catch a little bit of light as he falls in behind. Nice night.
I hope the city's been treating you well, says the man, kind of low voice. We've got a lead. Unfortunately, unless we have a lead, and one of our friends in the city has a lead. We're going to need you to cooperate with them, but Mysore doesn't have the best reputation with the locals. We'd prefer you represent us on this one. Investigation, cooperate with them fully. Just let us know everything you can afterwards.
All right. do we have an idea of what's at issue more than the fact that there is one?
There's been British soldiers moving into their quarters in the city over the past few weeks. More than normal. They've expanded the garrison. Never good. And an arms manufacturer, Crossley, is promised to open up a factory here. I imagine it's related, but I can't prove anything. Whatever it is, whatever the British want in Hyderabad, we would like to deny it to them.
And are we looking to... Well, British denied. Safe and easy. You have any idea if this is a... Do I have hours to work with? Days? Weeks?
Our contact, Sama, has simply said as quickly as possible, so I imagine days at best, and probably less than that. Play nice with them. We'd like to build some goodwill back up.
I'll do what I can.
Greatly appreciated. Mysore owes you a debt. And he kind of shakes his hand, and as we pan away, he talks about like daily goings on in the city for the benefit of anyone who might be listening in as you pass a crowded section before splitting off. And finally, we zoom across Hyderabad into its most crowded sections in the old city, where you can always hear the construction thundering on, where you can see where all around workers are putting down power lines and setting up new stations, widening roads and paving them, etc., etc. And today you can see a platoon of British infantry, both from the Isles and also members of the Indian Army, recruits from across India brought in to the colonial army, marching through the street on their way to the British quarters in Hyderabad itself, waiting on a street side for a different contact entirely. Nordine, introduce Henry Kamal to us.
Henry Kamal is got thick, long black hair that is tied up into a bun behind him. He's got 2 small golden earrings, one on each ear, and warm brown skin with a scar reaching up his neck, almost touching the 5 o'clock shadow that he seemingly permanently has on, because he's one of those kind of people. He's wearing fatigues, but there's also a trench coat tucked in under one of his arms, and he's looking in a very particular direction for a split second, murmuring some words quietly to himself before taking a breath and looking around.
And as he looks around, he sees coming up to him a familiar face, but not the one he was expecting to see today, in a British officer's uniform, a man he knew back when he was in London as James No Relation Kipling, for the lack of relation to the author, striding up, waving, seemingly pretty thrilled to see him. Henry, how are you? Oh, did not expect you to be. Well, I suppose I should have.
Well, they're pulling everyone in, I hear. It's nice to see you. Where have you been? How have you been doing? How's your wife? You look like you might have lost some weight.
Oh, well, deployment will do that to you. She's doing great. They gave us this, well, hopefully she's doing great. Still back in England. Didn't give me permission to move her back over, bring her back here yet. Yeah, I don't know. Ours is not to question why and all, but they have not told us much about why we're back here. Finally got the commission. He kind of grabs his uniform and shows off the shiny insignia of a lieutenant. As he looks over. I didn't know you were deployed out here. Anything interesting or?
It's let's call it unofficial assignment.
Great
Well, I look
to
like
hear.
the locals. There's a benefit to that. Do you know what you're supposed to be doing here? I mean, they're practically moving in a whole new army.
No idea. I don't know. Something to do with Crossley manufacturing, but haven't been told much beyond the fact that James Crossley was on the train over. I just got in today. I'm gonna be honest, he's very posh.
Aren't they all? Here, let me just get some dust off of you. While I'm gonna reach out and brush some dust off of his jacket. You know that fancy lieutenant commission that he has? Can I try and just nick it off of him?
Absolutely. That's going to be I'm going to say that's initiative plus espionage.
Initiative plus espionage. All right. Now I have speedy hands as one of my aspects.
Yep. You can absolutely apply that here. And if you want to invoke it, if you have an idea for like what sort of trouble this could get you into later, like for example, kicking off a clock for, hey, this for Richard figures out he's been had, you can absolutely do that to to give yourself both benefits of invoking an aspect.
I think I'll just take the extra die for now. Just the one.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's unsuspecting. So this is gonna be fairly easy. You just need like one success to do this, and this has a complication rating of 1. So if you don't have an additional success to buy off that complication, at some point he's going to figure out that you stole this off of him.
That's probably fair. Now I have an initiative of 3, so that's 3d6 plus the 1 for the aspect and 1d10 because I'm skilled in espionage.
All right.
Well, that went badly.
How badly?
I don't think I've got... all of the dice I have rolled are below 4, so I got no successes.
Oh, okay. So you didn't manage to steal it off of him. But let's see. I think as a complication, like you go in, you like brush his shoulder, and he turns and goes, "Who's that?" And behind you, like you kind of turn around, and you see the woman you're here to meet, Sama, who is definitely not going to be thrilled that you have inadvertently brought her to the attention of a British officer. So we're going to make a new clock. Sama discovered. With a rating of 3, let's see. Oh.
Wonderful.
Yeah, with a rating of 3. It's not going to start with anything in it, but it's definitely not a good thing to have going on for here. And bam. So one of this nice little small clock beneath the campaign clock is your contact here getting found out, and she kind of looks at you and glares with like a solve this sort of look.
I move my hand from Jimmy's shoulders, like around his arms, around his back, and say, "If you don't mind, I do have a private meeting, very important, that I have to get to."
He waggles his eyes at you. Give me, this would definitely be, I think you can either do this as authority or initiative, your call, and your choice of command or espionage to just convince him off here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try command and authority
All right.
because initiative and espionage have already failed me today.
Fair enough.
And this time I would like to fully invoke one of my aspects.
All
The
right.
Chameleon of London. This is not my first
All
one.
right. So what do you want to be the complication coming out of this?
I'm totally comfortable if that clock gets pushed up a little, if I... just by little. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So no matter what happens on the roll, the clock's going up a little. All right. You're looking for 2 successes. Roll it.
That's a bit better. I have way more than 2. I have 5 successes because 2 of my d6s rolled 6s.
Nice.
So that's 2 each and 1 5 for 5 total successes.
All right. So 2 of those are spent. He buys this, and he's going to be like excusing himself immediately. You've got 3 more that you can spend on advantages if you have ideas for them. One of them can be, for example, he develops a positive bond with you. Mr. Kipling goes, "Yeah, this is great. I've met my old friend again," and you get a positive bond with Kipling that you could use later. One of them could be, Sama isn't angry at you, and you managed to play this. I'm going to say that's 2 successes for someone to not be pissed off at you for this. So you don't get a negative bond with Sama. And otherwise, if you have something in mind that would be a neat advantage, you can go ahead and introduce that.
I'm actually comfortable with the 2 you described. Sama not being upset at me, and James considering me a friend,
All right, so you can add to your sheet James friend 1. So that's it's a positive bond, and when you're interacting with James, you can use that positive bond to get a dice.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, James goes, "Oh, sorry, I guess it makes sense. Why else would you just be kind of on the street? My apologies. I'll go off and handle my men, as it were. Good luck." And he darts off. And Sama stares at you and goes, "How bad is that?"
James was never a smart one. I feel like he'll be okay for now. He's not rushing off to tell anyone, if that's what you're wondering about.
All right, well, good news. I managed to wrangle us some help. Bad news, we have a lot less time than I hoped. To the office, I don't want to give this briefing twice.
Please, lead the way.
All right. Sama leads you up into Sama leads you over about half a block up some stairs and into a smoky private detective office where over the next few minutes the rest of the group files in. It's a cramped thing. There's technically a secretary's desk outside. You know very well, Nordine, Sama has never had the reliable income to hire any subordinates, so it's just kind of empty in there. Inside, there are kind of shelves stacked with case files and evidence, and hidden in there, what amounts to military intelligence for you and your organization. She is one of your more reliable contacts in the city in terms of investigation and getting information on what the British are up to and what the Nizam of Hyderabad's up to. While everyone else isn't totally clear on what Sama's deal is, she tries to keep pretty out of the deeper factional politics. She's big on basically the democratic reform movement in Hyderabad, would like the Nizam to move to a constitutional republic and ideally get true diplomatic independence from all sides, which kind of means that they don't really have many natural allies in the many resistance movements going on here. Like the ultra-traditionalists want to stick with a monarchy, the communists dislike their politics, and ever since they were bigger on the non-cooperation movement, and since Gandhi was arrested and the non-cooperation movement was suspended, they've just lost a lot of allies and friends in the area. That's kind of, you're working with her and some other people are, but mostly it's her trying to leverage her skills here. Everyone else, you enter this smoky, kind of ambiguous office. There's an incense bowl burning on her desk. It smells a little. Oh god, I don't know how to describe this incense. Because I've smelled it at weddings all the time, and I don't remember what the deal is. But it's very much, she is trying to create a mood here of rogue PI looking for the next case. The shutters behind her are kind of loose. They're not, they haven't been well maintained. It looks like it's a messy conglomeration of random case files and the like. There is kind of on a holster slung over her chair as she leans and kicks her feet back up on her desk. There's a gold engraved pistol, just kind of resting there. Well, we've got a neat set of friends today. Quick disclaimer, no one here is planning on shooting me when this is done, right? I work a lot better without the threat of imminent death.
Unless this is an ambush, I think we'll leave here friendly enough.
All right, I'll take that as good enough. Well, between Mysore and the revolutionaries, let's see, how do I phrase this for you all? The British are up to something in the city, and when aren't they? They've been bringing in troops for the past few weeks, and unbeknownst to most others in the city, they've also been bringing in sporlings, little servants of Iram. The Nizam's been pretty good about keeping them out, but today, the last few weeks, whatever this is, it's lucrative enough, or maybe just there's enough pressure on him that he hasn't bothered. I figured it was something longer term, which was why I'd called on you all until this morning. Okay, let me just be straight up here. I've counted 15 disappearances from local prisons and from poor district, just itinerant laborers in the past 3 days alone. There have been a couple of diamond shops that have had strange material come in and notified me because they weren't sure where it came from. And there is a large contingent of British soldiers coming in by train tomorrow morning. I don't know what's happening, but whatever it is, it's large and it can't be good.
The soldiers, as far as I can tell, have been kept in the dark as well, so at least that's a good thing for now. They're not activating anyone just yet.
Well, you say the soldiers are here already.
They are.
You have an idea of numbers?
There may be 20 in the city, but there's a full company coming in by train tomorrow morning with who knows what sort of fungiforms.
Sorry.
We've got, I count 4 here, and I'm willing to bet that none of you are hiding machine guns in your back pockets, so I think speed's of the essence.
Henry Kamal actually like raises his hands to his side and starts searching through his pockets, and then pulls out a cigarette and lights it.
I left
Sorry.
my spare machine gun at home.
Alas, would that we all had machine guns in our back pockets. Yeah, I've asked for help because I don't have the time or the people to investigate all of this myself. The way I see it, we've got a couple of leads to go after here. Whatever the hell's happening with the diamond shops, lead there sparse, but I know a place downtown that's had some weird stuff come in that they'd looked at. Whatever's happening with the soldiers, Kamal, I'm not sure how fruitful it'll be, but if you could get anything out of them, that would be great. Investigating those disappearances, and investigating those disappearances and figuring out what they might be, figuring out what Crossley's doing in the city. You all figure out what you want to pursue there, and then I'll handle the rest. We reconvene every 4 or 5 hours till we figure out what's going on, and then I'm going to trust you with actually dealing with the issue in some manner. It's a bad plan, but it's kind of what I've got at the moment.
All right. In that case, I suppose we had better beat feet. I don't exactly know this part of town very well, and I assume those disappeared people have some families. So, anybody care to help me visit them?
If we look around, we probably can find someone, especially considering they're taking people from laborers and not the prisoners. Not could be very useful. I'm interested in checking out that diamond shop.
Likewise.
Now
We're both
diamonds.
looking, not my
That's more my style.
All right.
We all go diamond shopping.
So 3 of you are planning on
Sorry.
heading diamond shopping, and Tyler is going to go and try and figure out what's up with those missing laborers.
Yes. Looks like it.
All right. So as she goes, all right, I'll see if I can rustle up anything on Crossley. Meet back here when you've got something, and we'll move from there. All right?
Understood.
Okay, so as you all leave the office to split up, we are going to tick the campaign clock. In Guns Blazing, there is always a campaign clock ticking in the background. In this case, the campaign clock is a full company of British soldiers arrives by train, and makes everything significantly worse. But the campaign clock will generally move as a result of time passing in universe or certain actions you take. Some of your actions are going to be marked as like tick actions, which means that represents you spending a bunch of time doing something, and then you'll get a powerful effect. But once everyone's taken a tick action, the campaign clock moves. So in this case, every time you investigate something, whenever that round of investigation finishes, campaign clock moves. You've got a pretty quick schedule to work with in terms of figuring out what's happening in Hyderabad. Now, with that, who would like to start their investigation first? Team Diamonds or Tyler with the victims' families?
Team Diamond sounds like a lot of fun. I say by all means.
All right.
Let's do it.
Diamond Squad, launch!
So we head to a small unlabeled shop in downtown Hyderabad where a tall Nus is behind the counter. A Nus is a type of Jinn that is a person divided in half vertically. So like one eye, one nostril, one ear, half the teeth, one arm, one leg, etc. Fully functional and able-bodied, hops around a lot, but otherwise like just a person, just kind of half of one, more or less. He's hopping around behind the counter of this shop, where you see he's kind of thrown cloth over most of his wares and has like moved it out, like closed. He's put a closed sign up in his shop, moved things out of sight, and he looks at you suspiciously as you come in the door. Shop's closed!
As we head in, I turn towards your Muhammad, right?
Why, yes, I am.
How good are you sneaking around?
I consider myself a pretty decent sneaker.
So
Just tell me what you need me to do.
let's say that you zoom in, right? And I head to
Yeah.
the front, and you maybe wander your way around the back.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, darling. Here's my arm. Go ahead and take it.
All right.
So, if you don't mind, I'm looking for we're looking for a ring.
Ooh. Well, that's lovely, and I'm very happy for you. But today, the shop is closed. Really can't help you today. I'd love to help you tomorrow.
We've been
Just
through-
got like
We've been to 3 different shops, and each and every one of them's closed. Look, we need to do this now. I don't know if you noticed, but things are happening around here, and well, she's. Darling, can I tell him?
Of course.
She's already well on the way.
All right, this is great. This is definitely authority plus espionage to try to just browbeat him and just play up this relationship to convince him to let you in.
Like hold their stomach to try and help. You know, like
For shame, man. He's trying to make an honest woman of her here. Double.
My family back home would be very unapproving of a child out of wedlock, so if you could please.
Okay, this is going to be an opposed check. He is trying to oppose you on this, albeit not super impressively. Oh no, he got 3 successes trying to stonewall you and be.
Okay, let's. If I need my aspect, I'll use it to re-roll if necessary. But this is
All right.
3d6 plus 1d10. Does Yusumin helping me out here do anything?
Yeah. So yes, if you have an appropriate skill or aspect, Yusumin can help out. So if you have espionage or any lying skill, you can help out. If you choose to use your espionage, you provide a 1d6 bonus. If you choose to provide your skill, you can provide the 1d10 or your aspect. You can provide the 1d10 of invoking an aspect.
ooh. Damn,
The
'cause I
aspect's
got stubborn
always
being
better
a
if you
reason.
can make it work.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. Okay, I think espionage is probably the better one because like stomped on pregnancy.
All right. It's
All
4d6 plus 1d10 for espionage. Okay, so that is 5 successes, 6 successes.
Oh, that'll do it. So he cancels 3 of them out, so you have 4 successes to spend. Just winning gets you into the shop. Are there any advantages you want to try and set up here? Giving, like maybe giving Muhammad a bonus going forward of like distracting the staff, or
I'd like, if possible, for Muhammad to get a bonus going forward.
all right.
I would like a bonus to almost establish enough trust with this fella that we can wheedle some information out of him, because we're just a weird engaged couple. There's nothing sinister about this. And if I can get a third, I'd love to sneak a ring.
You can absolutely sneak a ring as a third. So yeah, you can you can basically get like a temporary bond for the scene of just this guy's really sympathetic to this engaged couple. You've touched on a nerve here, and like, fine, just let's try to be quick about this. Adil up here and gonna need help with a customer. Don't do anything dumb again. And a younger boy, like his kid, pretty clearly, another Nus kid of like 14 or so, runs up and starts going through the collection that he started packing up. All right, what are you looking for? And as this happens, we cut around to the back of Muhammad. You come around to the back of the shop. It's locked, but everyone's out. Like Adil's no longer back here to maybe catch you by surprise. So you can initiative plus or you don't even need to do initiative plus espionage here. I think they're all distracted at the moment. So the advantage there is going to be you get into the back without issue. You're in the back storeroom of this jeweler. There's a decent amount of various merchandise. A lot of it is like worked iron stuff instead of like expensive jewelry, especially back here. So it's stuff that looks good or would be a great like basis for something else, but it isn't like the super high value stuff that is out front or would probably be under better protection when it's not on display. But you do notice that there's like a rack of there's a like glass container with 4 diamonds in it back here that you would expect to be under better protection here, but you have free reign of the back. What are you looking for? You can go for the diamonds. You can like see if you can find their books or anything, like their paperwork. What does Muhammad want to look for?
Muhammad's going to go ahead and take a look at the diamonds that are left unguarded.
All right. This could be patience plus analyze. It's going to be 3 successes get you something important. 7 successes get you something really important. It's just very unlikely that you're going to manage to get it. But you'll get a little bit of information no matter what as you start creeping around back here. And there's always the one complication rating of if you make noise back here, they might turn around and it might make things difficult for everyone up front.
Okay. Well,
That's
no.
that's pretty bad. Do you have an aspect you could invoke here to try and make this turn your way a bit better in terms of giving you a bonus dice or letting you re-roll that one?
Can I try sneaky?
Yeah, sneaky definitely applies. So that'll just be 1d6. And if you had a skill, you rolled 2d6 plus 1d6. If you have the skill analyze, that should have been 1d10.
Oh, yeah, that was a mistype.
Okay, yeah. So just re-roll that d10 and roll that d6 for sneaky.
Okay. All right, so one
that's
success
two
or two
successes.
success.
Yeah, 2 successes on the d6. So there's something off about this diamond. Like, they're marked as high purity, but looking them over, you can tell these aren't as high purity as they're being advertised as, but you don't figure out anything else there. You didn't hit that first threshold of useful information. So these might have just been pulled as bad product as far as you're concerned. But with those 2 successes, you don't make noise back here, which might be the more important thing at the moment. So yeah, you've got these suspicious diamonds. Nothing there in terms of damning evidence. What else do you want to look for back here? They presumably got some books. If you have something else in mind, you could try and go for something like that. But what's Muhammad think is of interest?
Okay, Muhammad's gonna go ahead and see if they have any pieces of literature laying around, such as like letters or anything like that.
All right. So that would definitely also be patience plus analyze. You can apply sneaky, and if you want to invoke a different aspect for, like, you will have something go wrong if you invoke the aspect, but you will both get the bonus dice, and you will get to reroll ones or reroll all d10s that fail if you go for it.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and invoke the bonus die.
Okay, what do you want out of the bonus? What do you want? What aspect are you invoking? What do you think applies here? Or how do you think this could go wrong from any one of your aspects?
I mean, right now I can only lean into or talk to a nervous, so maybe Muhammad's kind of whispering under his breath and doesn't really realize that he's getting a little bit louder and a little bit more angstier as he's beginning to look, because he's trying to desperately find something that he can latch onto.
All right, so you're rolling your patience, plus 1d10 for your analyze, plus 1d10 for your aspect, and you get to reroll all ones, or you get to reroll all failed d10s. So it should be 2d6 plus 2d10, if I interpreted your last pool correctly.
Yeah.
All right. That's way better. That's 5 successes. So you start, you're kind of muttering to yourself, and you find their ledger. You pull it out and look through. Last 2 weeks, 3 times a day, from a sender, you see color mined, cut diamonds, 24 high purity of the first water, which is like a mark of really high grade diamonds. They got an 8 from some place called Galore Mine, and then on the to this morning marked in is what was that? Failed inspection. Recheck all color diamonds. And so you've got this ledger which has that piece of information of maybe you've got some idea of where these suspicious diamonds are coming from. But as we cut to the front, so yeah, Hizzer is talking to you about your rings, asking how you met, where are you planning to live? Are you planning to go here or back to? And he kind of avoids guessing where exactly you're from, but like, are you gonna stay in India? Are you heading back home? How big is the wedding going to be? Oh, then like he starts kind of going into a personal anecdote and then realizes he brought his 14-year-old son up here to help out and shuts up about the personal anecdote without warning, while his son is like showing you various rings and trying to see what you might be interested in.
Now, darling, do you like the gold or do you like the silver?
Well, I think the gold would go better with the outfit I have planned for the wedding, but the band is a little tight. Do you have a different one here that I could try on?
Oh, of course. Of course. My apologies. And as he goes to get one, you all hear this kind of muttering through the walls. And he freezes and is like, "Did you hear that? Adel, did you hear that?" And Adel just nods.
I think it came from outside. I thought I saw.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
What are they called? Like people performing on the street.
Oh, an oud? Or like a street performer.
Yeah, a street performer. I think there was a street performer just setting up outside. I think maybe that's what we're hearing.
Adil, that was your name? Why don't you go check?
All right. And Adel kind of hops out to go check. You don't have long before he's going to go and check out the back. But Muhammad, you're now just basically trying to get out of here before you were discovered. You've got the evidence you're getting. Can you roll me initiative plus espionage, or if you have an idea for some other stat check that might be able to apply here to just get out cleanly?
Nope. I'm not gonna do what I wanted to do. So I'll go ahead and roll the initiative plus.
All right. And he is 2d6 and 1d10, right? Yep.
You said 2d6?
Oh no, you roll your initiative plus your espionage. He Hizzer is rolling his stat line to see how. Oh, he got 4 successes.
Wow. I don't think I could beat that. Probably have 2 die.
Oh no. You have 3 successes.
3.
So as you start sneaking out the back door, like you kind of get out, you turn around, and staring at you in the face, looking for street performers, is Adel, this like 14-year-old kid who looks at you holding like a book and a bunch of a case of diamonds, and he just yells, "Dad, we're being robbed!"
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm not robbing you. I'm just here to make sure that the property is being well kept and kept safe.
He's got the diamonds! And this kid's just yelling for it. And yeah, inside, you all hear, this kid yell, "We're being robbed."
Would you like to handle this, Yusmin, or should I?
I think I can handle. Is there a way I can knock this man unconscious really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just initiative plus combat. Yeah, initiative plus combat, and if you get more than 2 net successes, he opposes this strain. And if you get more than 2 net successes, you just cleanly knock him unconscious, with the obvious, complication of you're fairly distinctive, and he will know someone knocked him unconscious. But the plus side of he's literally just a random civilian, so he fails because that's a strain check for him. He has no successes.
Great.
Combat plus authority. My combat tier is 2, so that's 2d6 plus whatever my initiative is. So 4d6.
2d10 for combat. Your skills provide d10s.
Ooh, spicy.
Plus whatever your initiative is.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Get that for me.
Promise. 2 successes.
2 successes? Yeah, that'll do it. So he turns to call for the guards or for the cops, and you how do you knock him out, actually? Tell me.
I think she takes the the blade out of her, like, it's in a fold of her hanbok. She pulls it out and just, like, with the flat end of the hilt, just, like, on the back of the head, and then catches him and puts him down. Like,
Okay, you catch him, you put him down gently, and you just like run out. And like you Muhammad, are you legging it, or are you still trying to explain this?
Muhammad's gonna go ahead and take off ready.
Okay, so you run
Oh
for
my
it.
god, he fainted in here.
And yeah, you all escape the scene, and with that, we're going to cut over to the poorer sections of the city, where Tyler is kind of tracking down track down the home of, like, kind of the extended family home of a like itinerant laborer named Mahmoud, who was on the list of people who went missing. It's a pretty small house. It's kind of one of the new apartment blocks that went up in like the last year or so for the growing population of the city. You go like to one of the doors. How are you approaching this? You know that there's some family around. You're not sure how many of them. You know the apartment number. It's on the second floor. But are you just going up to the front door? Do you have some other idea for how you're going to approach this? What's your deal?
Yeah, front door. He's gonna like after knocking, he's gonna take hat in hand, and approach this like a concerned foreigner of some positive provenance.
All right. So you knock on the door, and eventually it takes a few minutes. You can kind of hear some muffled conversation in there, and this very tall, lanky woman, like clearly relatively poor, wearing a multicolored hijab, opens the door and kind of peers out the side and leans out. Salam?
Salim, I am here to. I had heard that the good man Mahmoud had been missing for some time now. I wish to know more about it, that I may, if perhaps find him, even return him home, or at least bring you some kind of closure.
Why? Did you know him? I'm sorry, I don't. I appreciate the offer, but I don't know who you are, and I don't want to invite more trouble.
I did not know him, but I am Penateka is what they call me. I'm a specialist hired to help people who might not be able to avail themselves of more expensive and legitimate.
If Crossley hired you, I don't want to hear it.
If I was working, Crossley is the worst kind of man. People like me don't work for Crossley. People like me see that Crossley doesn't get away with these kinds of things.
All right. I think so. You'll need to convince her to like kind of let you in and expose more, because that's going to be exposing her to some level of backlash. Mm-hmm. But I think you're saying the right things. You're going to get a +1 dice to however you want to do this. I feel like the thing that would fit most for this is authority plus either like understand or command. Would you like to pitch a different approach to this, or in terms of skills, or do you have aspects that you might want to invoke?
Yeah, I think authority and understand. For aspects, I think let my people go just might apply here.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that'd be 3d6 plus the 1 skill rank. And I'm gonna hold that aspect for a re-roll.
All right.
Let's
1, 2, 3 successes. Yeah, so you're going to get a bond with Noor of she trusts you on some level, and you can manage to convince her. She calls like her son into the living room of just like kind of waiting there, invites you in, and like tells him to put on a cup of tea, and she says, I don't have much hope for a happy ending here, but I'm willing to hear what you have to say and provide information that I think wouldn't cause me more trouble, if you understand.
I do. You have a life, and you would rather live it as well as you can.
Mm-hmm. With that said, how can I help? What do you know? And what do you need to know?
I know that more soldiers have been coming in. That Crossley has been. There are rumors of Crossley opening a factory. Rumors of Iran spoiling.
I know nothing of the spores, but a few months ago, my husband got an offer. They were looking for laborers to assemble cars for a new factory for Crossley. It was good work. They say in America that people who assemble cars can occasionally buy their own cars after a year of working, and that would be an enormous amount of money for us. It was good work for a while. The money kept coming, and then a few days ago, he didn't come back. And Crossley sent someone, and they said he's all right, but they'll be in touch. And I know better than to believe things like that.
And better than to attract attention by making it clear you don't believe things like that. I understand. And well, I think I know what I need. I think I know what needs to happen next. And I thank you for your time. I apologize for a trouble I might have caused, and hopefully, and like goes to like put his hat on, makes to leave. Like, I won't trouble you anymore.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, he waves you out the door, and as you leave, like you step out the door, the apartment door closes behind you, and you see an Indian man in like an Indian army uniform, one of the like a British soldier, come up the stairs, clearly headed towards the apartment. He's not armed or anything, but he's got kind of a letter on him and is stepping forward and looks at you and goes, or no, he doesn't he's kind of walking towards you, but he's not like addressing you. He's just kind of double takes because that's strange.
Oh, a professional associate of someone that knew Mahmoud. Is that for the family?
Knows Mahmoud. He's, fine. Yeah, and just bringing a letter from the work site.
If it wouldn't be too much to share, they seem. It's been a while. Mahmoud has been missed. Will this be good news?
I haven't read the letter, but I imagine so. And you can roll probably probably patience plus understand if you want to see if you can get something more out of this guy.
Yeah, I'll give that.
Information.
Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
With the obvious complication rating of, so it's going to be like 2 successes to get something out of this guy, and complication 2. You're a memorable face. This conversation sticks in the mind. That might not be great for you sometime coming up.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Duly noted. Patience 3, skill of 1. Let's see what we got here. Think I count 4 successes?
You count 4 successes. Yeah, look, the fort's not a great workplace, but you know, whatever. I've been delivering these messes past couple days, been nothing too weird about it. And with that, like, you get the idea that he doesn't think, he knows there's something up. He doesn't think it's that bad, and he lets slip that they're working at the fort rather than at some factory. And Golconda Fort is probably certainly the most noticeable one in the area. Like, the old city has walls, but isn't generally referred to as a fort. And he just kind of walks past you to deliver the letter.
All right. Yeah, and I don't push him anymore. I don't stare at his back or anything as I'm walking away. Just
all right.
The middle pin in that.
So with that, you all reconvene back at the detective office. Definitely not enough space for all of you, but you've got some evidence. You've got a significant amount of evidence. Sama is there with a ledger that she got from somewhere, and an angry look at about more than half of you. So,
Team Diamond.
there was a
dirty
diamond
looks.
robbery.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a coincidence.
Tyler just like blinks slowly, like.
Never trust the youth.
Please tell me you didn't kill. Come on, please tell me you didn't let them kill someone.
Of course I wouldn't. I simply had to knock out a shopkeeper, that's all. They live.
Okay.
Wow. We have a little bit more self-restraint than that, just to up and kill someone. I think you owe us an apology for assuming the worst of us.
Absolutely not.
I'm insulted that you were insulted, and therefore you should apologize to me, the victim of this situation.
Why did
Figure out what's weird with the shopkeeper should not normally turn into knocking him out and robbing him of diamonds. Did you at least find something good?
Looks at Mohammed.
Well, outside of these diamonds, I did happen to find a ledger.
Why did you steal the diamonds?
Well, I guess you have your operations funded for the near future then.
I think you mean our operations funded.
I don't know if there's room on your cane for any more diamonds. But...
I mean, if you do want another diamond, I do have one. And I pull out, like, a diamond ring.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Well, darling, this is the longest engagement I've ever had.
I know, a whole hour.
is he always like this?
Me?
Yes. All right.
Yes, more or less. Generally doesn't end in knocked out shopkeepers.
Usually I'm more subtle than that. Or at least I like to think so.
Okay, what's the Muhammad? What's the evidence you've got for me?
Well, so, these diamonds that this shopkeeper had, it's come back from some sort of mine at a Glora mine, I believe is the name. And they seem to be, at first, high-grade diamonds, but come back to fill an inspection a couple weeks later.
Okay, I could. Yeah, all right. So some sort of counterfeit diamond operation might not be. We might want to take a second look at those. Is that everything from the diamond shop, or?
That is
All
everything
right,
I was able to gather.
All right. Well, not. No, that's definitely useful. Tyler, how are you doing?
Wait, I do have one more
What do you
thing.
have for me?
One more thing.
Please tell me you didn't lock anyone out.
No, the shop was supposed to be closed today.
Oh. That's the middle of the workday. Why would the shop be closed today?
I have no idea. Well, I was going to ask, but then, well, everything.
Ah.
Pregnancy does that to you.
Why did you come if you were?
Oh, heaven.
All right.
No one here is pregnant, nor are we engaged.
I'm so sorry.
Tyler, please tell me the visit to the apartment went better.
I was a little bit concerned at the end. A soldier was an Indian, a local soldier, was coming by to visit the family with a letter in hand. But, well, the first thing, as far as the workers were aware, they were being hired to build cars for Crossley, a factory. Simple work, straightforward. Seemed as decent as that work can ever be for that man, for that kind of man. And then Mahmoud stopped coming home. They don't know anything about Iram, and they also don't know that they're not working at any kind of factory, that they're working at the fort. As far as that soldier knows, nothing concerning is happening. He didn't think he was delivering news of a death. But it's fact enough that those laborers aren't going where everybody thought they were.
Interesting. Well, I've got, and she kind of dumps this on the thing. I've got ironclad proof that Crossley doesn't have a factory in Hyderabad, and the building he's got is currently serving as a warehouse, moving parts in and out of the city, and well, I didn't get inside, but I imagine storing whatever he's actually working on here. If labor's actually at the fort, we've got the beginnings of a theory, though I'm loath to call it hard evidence. Let's see. So run this through for me. We have diamonds coming from mine that aren't real, that aren't the diamonds they claim to be.
We have no actual factory. Well,
No actual factory. And they're working at the fort.
Plenty of need for workers at a fort. Parasites being flown in.
What are they mining? Where are they mining to?
Are there any resources in this area that might...
Kalur used to have a diamond mine 100 years back. They'd cut them at they'd cut them at the fort, but it went dry more than a century ago, and eventually the collapses that kept killing people weren't worth keeping the mine open, and there weren't really any diamonds to find anyways.
For a long time, this place was mostly just a vault for fancy things.
Maybe someone buried a fancy thing deep
It's
in
been
there?
emptied out, to my knowledge. But possibly.
I think our best shot, I'll check out the warehouse and see if I can figure out what they're storing in there. You check out the fort. if the fort's where everything is going down, maybe you can clean it before. Maybe you can shut down whatever they've got going on, or at least set it back a while without before they bring in reinforcements, and this becomes unmanageable. And if that's not where things are going down, I'll have it scoped out the warehouse by the time you're back.
Oh, there's no harm in trying. Wait, didn't this place used to have tombs? Still does, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The fort has a mausoleum, has wait a minute, and kind of goes through the shelves from her case file until she pulls out a literal like tourism brochure and puts it down on the table and shows you all. Oh, where is it?
Where are you?
Oh.
Sorry.
One moment. How do I show? There we are. And she shows you this map of the of Golconda Fort, made for tourists, just to kind of go through in the last decade. Yeah. Let's see. There's a mortuary bath over there. Temple and the like. Jail up there. Lot of empty space.
Well, I suppose we'll need to find out where they're sending people inside the fort. Going to get inside to figure that out. This will come in handy.
All right.
Do they do tours?
Absolutely. So, you all... All right, I'll meet you... Well, if all goes well, I'll meet you in the morning, and if all doesn't go well... Try to get back here alive, Henry.
All right. That's a positive note to end on. Come on, everyone. Let's go. Wait, Yusumin, you asked, did they give tours? Still?
Yeah. Do they give tours? Because that might be an effective way to inconspicuously make our way into the fort.
Yeah, there should be a tour guide, like, by the fort most days. Might be worth checking out when you get there.
Sounds good. Unless anyone else has any ideas?
Well, this is, if anything like what we perhaps suspect is going on, I think they might be I think we might be going a little underarmed for what we'll need to do if we're going in as tourists.
Maybe worth packing expecting a fight for this one. If this is where the operation actually is.
Well, if you are hypothetically touring a location for a wedding venue, perhaps you'd want to bring some equipment or decorations to be hauled around.
Or perhaps some fireworks. No, something that goes boom.
Grand affair, usually.
All right. So you guys are disguising yourself as like wedding planning party and heading over to the fort. So okay, so
we're planning the gender reveal.
Yeah.
We're planning to be the first gender reveal / wedding party in history.
And
Um,
2-for-1 combo. The firework, like a grenade spit blue smoke.
Henry and Yusumin are disguised as a happy couple. Muhammad, Tyler, what's your disguise for this? Like, what's your role in this fake wedding planning party?
Muhammad's going to be disguised as the the person in charge. I mean, he's already dressed for the role, but the one who's in charge in terms of planning and being able to kind of navigate everyone and what.
Wedding organizer. Okay. All right, you're going with wedding organizer. Tyler.
Tyler is going to be going as the put upon and I think in this case, moderately, concerningly, like concerningly armed, like a bodyguard slash manservant, like as this, like yeah, this is this is this is a whole lot of bother for what seems to be a shotgun wedding, and perhaps a slightly nosy eye might read into Tyler's the one who is insisting that this be this is supposed to be a ceremony. This is supposed to have something. He is. Some might say he doesn't seem to have a job at all, and more that he is just there to badger everyone into doing as the family wishes.
Okay, so
my
your
cousin.
family oversight. With that, let's do our proper outro. Let's do our outros. So in reverse order, from the bottom of chat to the top, who are you? Where can we find you? And who did you play? Nordine.
Hi, my name is Nordine Al-Qadir. My pronouns are he, him, and today I played Henry Kamal Gray, the Anglo-Desi captain, fighting for the resistance against, well, you know who against. You can find me online at Werewolf Fields, pretty much everywhere werewolves can be found, which is surprisingly more places than you would think, and I'm playing games, writing games, and designing games all over the interwebs. I cannot talk about the latter two just yet because of certain NDAs, but if you want to see me play a Starfinder game as an Efreet, you might want to check out The Atomless, which is both a podcast and a live AP. You can find the live AP over on The Atomless Podcast's YouTube, but you can also check out our podcast version, which is tightly edited for some of that extra energy.
Excellent. Obi.
Hello, and sooner or later, goodbye. I am Obadiah. You can find me out and about on the internet at Jossadison on Twitter. That's JOSADISON. And soon and very soon, I just might start streaming a recently released game on Twitch here. We'll see. In any case, keep your eyes out at twitch.tv/Shinaobi. That's SHINAOBI. Thank you all.
All right, James. Oh, sorry.
No. Terribly long-winded, but less so was Tyler D. Pinateca, who has just gotten a lot of fantastic cardio today, representing Mysora on behalf of the Comanche Federation.
All right.
Okay, so my name is James. You can find me anywhere on the internet at J2Rudo. You can even find me streaming on my personal channel on Twitch or on the official Smite Gaming channel page on Twitch. I'm also part of a couple of TTRPG projects that are being dropped in a couple of weeks, so be on the lookout on my social medias for that. And tonight I played Muhammad Adisa, Mr. Explodey Boy, who's kind of disappointed he didn't do much Explodies, but next time. Thanks for having me.
And Darby.
Hello, hi, my name is Darby, otherwise known as Chaotic Darby on the internet. I am a TTRPG performer, streamer, possum, and all-around menace on the web. You can find me under Chaotic Darby almost anywhere you can find handles to be had, but primarily Twitch, Twitter, Tumblr, I guess, is a thing. When I'm not here playing in this wonderful game, you can find me as the community manager of TTRPG, spelled TEATRPG. And also on Neon Lights Roleplay every other Wednesday, and the First Watch channel on YouTube. All those places I can be found playing stuff and doing things. Otherwise, I am also a fledgling game designer, so you should follow my social media to see updates on that.
All right, and I am Basheer Ghouse, your host and game master. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Basheer Ghouse. And of course, the game we've been playing is Guns Blazing, a game of my own creation set in an alternate 1925, where Jinn walk the earth and quite a lot of people have monsters, literal and political, to fight to the last breath. Or in this case, trick, and then escape with as many survivors as possible. Thank you all for listening, and keep an eye out for the Guns Blazing Kickstarter going live on March 28th. You can check that out at kickstarter.com/gunsblazing.